Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys, back in today's video with another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review, and today is a bit of a doozy. We're not looking at just one, or two, or three, but four, I mean, if you can count that as an action figure, four different action figures. Yes, it is R5-D4, BD-72, and the Pit Droids. This is the first time we're getting these specific versions of the droids, whereas R5-D4 came out earlier this year as a mainline release all by himself. But this one has a few added bonuses we'll get into. Here is the side art. Pelimoto makes quick work of refueling and repairing battered ships with the help of R5-D4, BD-72, and a team of hyperactive pit droids. Here is the UPC in case you need that. But without further ado, let's get into the review. I have very strong opinions about the character selection at hand here. And I think the biggest problem that I have with this set is the figure that I'm going to go over first, which is not the Pit Droids. I love them. R5-D4. Now, the keen members of my community will remember that I've reviewed this figure before, the mainline release at least. And do you want to know the difference between this and the mainline release? There are two key features that set these apart. Hold on. Before I continue, which one's the original, which one's the brand new one? Take a guess. It's impossible, right? They look exactly the same. What about from the side? Nope. You're not in luck because they look exactly the same. From any angle you look at them, they are the same exact thing. Except for one little thing. See those little gray nodes on their heads? The new one is brighter than the main line. The main line had a darker gray. This one has a more lighter gray and appears to be a bit more silvery. And the same with the little pipes around the head. Now, it took me minutes of just messing around with this figure to realize that. I was just like, where's the difference? Where's the difference? Where's the difference? That's it. Now, the second thing is probably the thing that people are curious the most about, and that is the legs, right? This new one, these panels are able to come off, and in its place, you're able to put these effects in, these flying effects. These look great. Very reminiscent of the prequel trilogy or the Clone Wars when R2-D2 would just take off like this. Speaking of which, the biggest question is, would these fit onto R2-D2? Because this is what people want to see the most. They want to see R2-D2 being able to fly. And sadly, the little side panels here just aren't going to come off. They're glued on pretty tight. I think you could peel it off, but I wouldn't know if these pieces would even fit in. So that is a pretty huge bummer. The only course of action that you could take is to swap the legs between the two figures. But as you can see, the whites just don't match up. So they're just going to look off, unfortunately. Now, don't worry, guys. I would bet my soul on Hasbro releasing another R2-D2 that is compatible with these effects or comes with those effects. So, yeah, just be patient, guys, because I'm sure it's going to happen. And besides, it doesn't hurt to have more R2-D2s in the collection. He's in almost every single thing. R5-D4, though, I just can't justify keeping two of them in the collection. Should I just put one in the original trilogy? I don't know. He's just such a minor character in the first movie. I'm not really that attached to him as a whole. He's more of a Mandalorian character to me. So I feel like I'm going to get rid of the mainline release. But man, that just sucks. I'm not going to go too in depth with R5 because I'm just like, it's just making me a little upset. So I'm just going to move on to the figure that everyone has been anticipating. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Pit Droid. This is acceptable. I appreciate this figure a lot, and I'll tell you why. Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order are some of my favorite games of all time. They are so phenomenal. And one of my favorite things about them is BD-1. He's the cutest little robot ever. I think he's the cutest little droid to ever grace any Star Wars medium. And this just gives me another option to use whenever I'm posing my Cal Kestis figures. The Jedi Survivor Cal Kestis came with just the standard BD-1 unit, same as the first release, which kind of was a bummer to me because I was hoping that every subsequent release of BD-1 would be different, but unfortunately not, so I'm stuck with like 2 regular ones. Yeah, this is BD-77 technically, but to me, this is just BD-1. And I think in the first or second game, there's a skin that makes him look like R2-D2. That's going to be my headcanon for this. That's going to be the R2-D2 skin. And yeah, just the sculpting is phenomenal. Love all the wires down there, all the cybernetics. For articulation, the head is able to move up this much, go down just a tiny bit. He has some pivot, some side-to-side movement, and his legs are able to go out this far. They're able to go in, and they're on a ball joint, so you're just able to move them a little bit around, but not too much. His legs are able to bend back this much and go out this long. Ooh, look at them legs. Slay it, girl. Slay. Yeah, you can put him in like a little compact mode too. Really, really cute little guy. So yeah, I am completely fine with this. Now onto the stars of this this 4-pack, I guess. The pit droids. Yes. Finally, the pit droids. But it's another case of hostage pack. Yeah, so the first release of these pit droids came out in a Disneyland exclusive, I want to say like a 4 or 5 pack. It came out with some other droids, and I think there was only 1 included. So yeah, army building them was out of the question. Here though, it is a bit easier, not at the price point that it's regularly at, which is like $44 or something. Insane, by the way. I managed to get mine for $35 after like a bunch of discounts and stuff. But obviously, I looked forward to these the most because I'm such a prequel fan. You know, I love The Phantom Menace, and these little guys are just some of the cutest guys ever. I love them in The Phantom Menace. And even in Mandalorian, they're such a welcome sight to see after so long. So these are definitely some of my most anticipated figures of the year. Was it worth getting another R5 and that BD droid? Kinda. Yeah, not a whole lot of like metallic detailing going on here, but there is all that like cybernetic droid detailing in the sculpt. As you can see, there's different browns. You know, it goes down like that. It goes, yeah, it's slowly going darker towards the bottom of each piece on the droid, except for the head, which is just a deep dark brown and has a white circle all the way around. And I love the paint they used for the eye right here, the black paint. It's very reflective and looks like it's glass. Really cool. And the antenna sticking up underneath too. They spared no expense right here, because like look, the detail in the sculpt right there looks phenomenal. And even on the back, like they didn't miss out on any sculpting detail for the most part. It's a little smooth back there, but yeah, on the wrist, on the back right there, it kind of reminds me of like a battle droid almost. But yeah, and then this guy right here, he looks like he's just like playing from a distance, but the legs, I feel like that's a different color right here. This is like a much more brown, a much more saturated tan, whereas this one is sort of a duller one. So yeah, really cool to see like different paint details right here. It reminds me of C-3PO and his silver leg. And then on the back, yeah, same detailing as the other pit droid, same as underneath right here. And there's some paint on the chest right there as well. Everything else is pretty much plain for the most part, except for the head. There's, instead of the white ring, it's like it's like a more saturated beige color. There we go. A beige color. And then the rest of the head is, this looks like coffee with sweetener in it. And I just can't wait for this set to go on sale, because I'm just going to army build the heck out of these. They don't come with any accessories, but for articulation, the heads are able to move up this much. They're able to go down that much, and they can also go back just a pretty good amount and go forward a really good amount. There's some pivot right there, some side to side movement. And for the arms, They aren't able to go out all the way, unfortunately, but they can go all the way around. There is a bit of a bicep swivel, an upper bicep swivel right there. Instead of a double jointed arm or elbow, it's like single joint right there, elbow, and then another single joint. So it's not truly a double jointed elbow. It's just like two single jointed single joints right there. Then for the hand, there is no hinge, but it is able to go all the way around. And he's able to bend a really good amount back. Whoa. He's able to go a really good amount forward. Whoa. And he's able to stretch his legs out this much. Not too much, but pretty good amount. He can go all the way around. Upper thigh swivel. A single jointed knee that bends in this much and goes forward that much. And his foot is able to move this far down, this far up. And he has some... And he can go into... Both of them can go into like a resting mode. I can't do it right now, but I did take a picture, so I'll show it on screen right here. Yeah, that's how it looks like. Really cool. Now on to the size comparisons. Here are all the droids next to R2-D2 and young Anakin Skywalker, the Mandalorian and Bo-Katan Kryze, Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darwin and Morbius, Grogu and Commander Gary, and finally Jeff the Shark and Spider Ham. Time for my final rating and my overall thoughts. I'm going to give R5 a final rating of 7 out of 10. I'm not sure how much I gave him on my original review, but this figure just does little to nothing to set itself apart from the original release. Aside from those awesome jet effects, those are cool. However, the rest of the figure is just still the same. And man, I just really can't find it in myself to give it a higher rating just because of that. Maybe it's just me being salty right now. Maybe I'm just mad because I had to buy another R5 to get the pit droids. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. But yeah, 7 out of 10. BD-72 gets a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty standard figure, all things considered. And it doesn't hurt to have another BD droid for the collection for my Star Wars Jedi display. So yeah, that's really cool. I'm only giving him a 7.5 out of 10 and no higher, but it's just because it's a little lacking in paint apps, you know. The one key details that it does have is just so minimal. All that blue right there, just like, it's so small on the front as well. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10. These are the best figures ever. These are the greatest figures of all time. They're the greatest figures. I'll give them a 9.5 out of 10. And this is not my bias speaking. I think these are perfect representations of these characters, of the pit droids. They look perfect and they pose like a dream, and they're easy to stand up as well. Man, perfect. If I had one complaint, and this is the one thing that brings it down half a point, is that I wish it had like some type of accessory, like a tool or a part, something that they could like hold or mess with. That would have been stellar. But yeah, as is, I'm going to give these figures a 9.5 out of 10. But yeah, that'll do for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Anything you can do to support the channel will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye. We're looking at R5-D4, BD-72, and the pit droids from Mos Eisley.